So today, we're going to talk about a skill that can, and I mean this, literally change your life. Self-discipline. Now, if that word makes you think of, punishment and restriction, I want you to just throw that idea out for a minute. We're about to reframe it as the ultimate tool for actually building the life you want.
You know how it is, right? You set a goal, maybe to get fit, or finish a big project, or learn something new. You start out with this huge burst of motivation, but then, well, life happens. That fire kind of fades, and the goal just stays a distant dream. If this sounds familiar, yeah, you're in exactly the right place.
You see, the problem for most of us isn't a lack of goals. It's something we can call the goal-action gap. It's that really frustrating space between what we say we're going to do and what we actually end up doing. And that is the real battle, isn't it? We have all the information. We know we should probably hit the gym, or skip that second piece of cake, or resist getting sucked into the social media black hole. The problem isn't knowing, it's the doing. And self-discipline, well, that's the bridge that turns what you know into what you consistently do. Okay, so what is this bridge actually made of? Let's dig into what self-discipline really is. And look, here's the best part. It is not some kind of magic power that you're either born with or you're not. It's a skill. And just like any skill, you can build it from the ground up. When you boil it all down, self-discipline is really about control, but not in a bad way. It's the power to consciously aim your actions toward your long-term goals, even when all those short-term temptations are screaming your name. Think of it like this. Motivation is the spark, but self-discipline is the thing that turns that spark into a fire that keeps burning. I love this quote because it just nails it. It really captures that daily tug-of-war we all feel. Every moment is a choice, right? Immediate gratification, like hitting the snooze button, versus the long-term reward of an early, productive start. Self-discipline is the muscle you use to consistently make the choice that's going to serve the future you. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty here and look at the engine that actually powers self-discipline, your willpower. Because understanding how it works is the key to making it stronger. Now, willpower isn't just some vague idea. It's a real, measurable process that's happening in your brain. That part of your brain right behind your forehead, the prefrontal cortex, that's the command center. It handles focus, emotional control, and saying no to temptation. And here's the crucial part you got to remember. Just like your phone's battery, it has a limited charge each day. And this is where it gets really interesting. Willpower kind of has a dual personality. On one hand, it's a muscle. The more you use it for small, little acts of self-control, the stronger it gets over time. But on the other hand, it's a finite resource. Every single decision you make, every temptation you fight off, every bit of stress you deal with, it all drains that battery. Scientists actually have a name for this. It's called ego depletion. You know, a ton of our willpower gets spent just fighting against our own automatic habits. Most of our behaviors just run on this simple little loop. There's a cue, like your phone buzzing, which triggers a craving to check it, and that leads to the response of you picking it up. It all happens before we even think about it. And here is the whole game changer. Self-discipline is the act of sticking a conscious pause right there between the craving and the response. It's in that tiny little moment of awareness that you actually get to make a real choice. You get to ask, hey, does this action actually serve my long-term goals? So, now that we understand the mechanics, you might be asking, why even bother with all this hard work? Well, let me tell you, the rewards for strengthening your self-discipline are massive. They create ripples through every single area of your life. Let's make this super practical. With more self-control, you're not just making a healthy choice today, you're building a healthier life, one decision at a time. You're not just resisting distractions, you're taking back hours of your day for real, focused work. You're not just managing your emotions, you're becoming the calm center in your own storm. And with every single win, no matter how small, you're building this unshakable confidence in your ability to follow through on what you promise yourself. All right, theory is one thing, but how do we actually do this? Let's build your personal blueprint for self-discipline. These are solid, actionable strategies you can start using literally the second this explainer is over. First up, you have got to get crystal clear on your why. What's the real, deep-down reason you want this? Second, you have to build systems that make the good choices the easiest choices. Third, you need to become the architect of your environment. Make temptations invisible and good habits obvious. And fourth, and this might be the most important one of all, start small. Forget trying to change everything at once. Focus on tiny, consistent wins that build unstoppable momentum.
You know, one of the most powerful systems you can use is called the 2-minute rule. Whatever your goal is, I want you to scale it down to something that takes less than 2 minutes to do. So if you want to become a reader, your goal isn't to read a book a week, it's to read 1 page. Want to get fit? Your goal isn't to run a marathon, it's just to put on your running shoes. See, the point is to master the art of just showing up. You make it so easy to start that you can't say no. And that's really what this all boils down to. Self-discipline isn't about restricting yourself. It's about liberating yourself. It's the tool that lets you line up your daily actions with your deepest values, and that gives you real control over the direction your life is headed. So let's bring it all home and right back to you right now. Forget about the huge mountain you want to climb for just a second. Based on everything we've just talked about, what is the very first, tiny step you can take today? What is the one small win you are going to achieve in the next 24 hours to start building that bridge to the life you want?